Hello everyone, this is part number 4, I think, or 5 of our tutorial of Express Generator. In this part, we will make a better script for auto-sample generating strategies and then validating on the auto-sample data. And we will make a script that runs several other commands to make a more complete workflow. So this is what we'll make at the end of the video in the second part. But we'll continue from our previous tutorial. In the previous tutorial, we created a script that generates strategies on particular data interval. Yeah, from this March 1st to 21st to March 1st 22nd. The script was for Hiovini. The script was for a strategy builder, because we set exit rate at close, like for strategy build professional, and close at backtest and false. And then what we did after creating strategies on this this data interval, we saved this correction. Then we open a new generator again with starting from the end of the previous interval and loading the previously saved correction. So what we did, we generated with this interval, save the correction, that load a new data, the auto sample, load this correction, compute it again, and validated and saved in the new correction. This we did in the previous episode. The problems with this script is that we specified the time interval, but when the time is passing, yeah, we have to come and redo the interval, and this is not very good. So in order to make the auto sample easier and to make it more fluid, we created new parameters. The parameters are data start percent and data end percent. So with these parameters, we determine the data range, and the default is data start is 0, which is the first bar, and data end percent is 100. So 100% of the data is the last bar, of course. And these are the default data. So when you run the generator, it was the complete data set and computes. Also, we have a new parameter, update best. This is something new from the previous week. First, I'll start with this one, and then we'll continue. So update best is set to true by default. And what is it is when we run the generator, when it computes and finds a better strategy, it automatically updates the best strategy on the screen. Let's open my PowerShell. Okay, I opened it from the Windows start menu. Just to show you something new that I found soon. We have for the options of PowerShell, we have defaults and properties, and I normally use properties, but it appeared that when we change the properties, it is only for the current session. And if you want to make a permanent changes for every session, we have to do it in defaults. So in defaults, I have font set to Gonzalez. In the color, I have a background black. And also something very useful. Yeah, this one, cursor shape, a vertical bar is good, but this one, disable scroll forward, is very useful. So I will switch this on. Without this option, when you start scrolling, we can go too much forward, and then you cannot return back to the one. This is not good. But now we cannot scroll forward more than one screen. But anyway, let's go to the generator, Express Generator, and when I run this, not bin gen. Okay, so this is the new behavior of Express Generator. It calculates, and it shows the best strategy on the screen. Currently, it shows the best one by best profit, but later we will add more sorting criteria. Yeah, for example, net profit is good, but also can be an R squared, and I also like return to drawdown. Okay, also the new thing is this line. They shows the spread swaps and commission. Now I run without commission, but yeah, it shows, and it shows the generator constraints. So now it will work up to 3 minutes. But if you calculate, if you limit it by calculation, to show the limit of calculated or limited by ascended. So when you see this screen, we will know what is going on or how many minutes. Because if you run it for many hours and we see the screen, we see where we are at the moment. Okay, if you don't like this behavior, the problem is that it deletes the walk, the previous output of the terminal. We can run the terminal with this option, update best equal to false. Okay, and it will work like before. So it will not show these strategies, and you'll be able to go back and to see the previous commands. Also, this update best is useful if you have several steps in your script. You may don't want to see this update, especially in the validation process. And also, it is useful with combination of this show top. Show top is show the top strategies when the generator finishes. So by default, show top is 0. So when I stop the generator now, just it shows that it saved the correction, but it doesn't show the top strategies. And if I set it update best false, show top, let's say 5. Okay, it started generating. It corrected so far many, and when I stop it, it will shows the top 5. I saw with Control C. So these are the top 5 strategies. And what I added now, I think it's not already updated, but when you use show top, it shows the something like aggregated stats. So the top profit is $135 from these top 5 strategies, and the total trades are this one, 1,514. This is useful. For example, if you use some validation process and you want to extract the top 5 strategies or top 3 strategies for exporting, to see the net statistics. Only this, the profit and the trades.
That's like the portfolio in EA Studio,
something like, but this is not portfolio, just this some of the stats.
Just these 5, yeah.
Of course, yeah, we can add more, but I'll show you what is useful for. For example, if I okay, let's it exported this strategy. I also will add something more. We also improve the input and output commands parameters. The input is when you want to input a correction, and output is the name of the output correction. Now it's much user friendly, so you can write output, just a simple word, and it will make a correction. We don't need to specify dot correction name dot JSON. Just I make it let's be full, yeah. So let's generate some corrections in the full, and let's be in single Euro USD, and let's be only max. Just I want to test you what I mean. I'll only take the top 5 max sended strategies 5. So I'll generate on Euro USD. I don't remember what was the default period. I think it was 30, but it's always good to specify it. M30, okay. Max send the strategy 5. So I will generate on Euro USD M30 5 strategies. Update best, okay, let's be false, and I'll show the top 5 and we'll output them to collection full. It will be very fast, okay, and they make totally $69. Okay, but let's now import. What happened? Something break. Clear.
It did say it right before. It said that it had saved it to collection foo.
Yeah, it is saved in the foo, but I can use these friendly names to input now. So just I can input
Okay.
the collection foo, and I use the same, but this time I will input the collection foo and you will calculate Great Britain pound USD. Why not? And I will show the top 5, but okay, let's set the output.
You've not spelled input right there. You've missed the T.
Yeah, correct. Output for 1. Okay, doesn't matter. It will generate this and show, you see, top 3, because most probably only the why I cannot scroll forward. Is it because of this option? Zero scroll forward. I don't know. Something is, I cannot scroll. Why?
Did you go on the right thing there? Because there's properties and defaults. Did you click properties or default there?
Yeah, but it must be when you say default.
Okay.
I should restart the session. Okay, it doesn't matter. This default, it must be for every instance of the PowerShell. So it was necessary to close it in the
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
But what I need to want to show you now, it generated, validated the previous collection full on Great Britain pound, and 3 of these 5 was profitable, right? Because it collected it collected 3. But what if I need to show even the losing one? I can do it by setting the acceptance criteria. Minimum net profit. And I'll make it minus 1,000 or minus 10,000. So it will revalidate and show even the losing one. In that way, I can compute the performance, full performance, like in live trading, not only on the profit.
Yeah, of the total. Yeah, that makes sense.
And also, to be fully correct, a minimum count of trades I have to set to 0 to show full, even the one, because they make 100 trades on euro dollar, but they may not make so many trades on Great Britain pound. I make it's 1 trade. There is no minimum net profit. It's minimum profit. Okay. Yeah, this error checking is useful. Minimum profit. Yeah, you see, now this time it shows 5. But what? Even if with the losing one, it shows total profit of 278. Do you see?
Yeah.
Very good. So, is it show higher profit on Great Britain pound than in Euro USD? It's strange. let's check that. Do you see? Because
I don't think it was higher. Yeah, that would be strange.
But it's so how you can do it? Just will revalidate the same, but in the Euro USD. Yeah, you see? We generated 5 strategies in Euro USD that shows $69, then computed the same with the losing one on Great Britain pound, and they show higher profit.
Hmm.
Isn't this amazing?
Yeah.
So yeah, so many things we can discover. Okay, so what I wanted to show you how to work with update best. So update best is when you run the generator, it constantly updates the best strategy on the screen. Show top shows the strategies after the computation, and also it shows the total profit and total trades. But okay, I'll close this. I don't like it how it appears, and I'll start it again because I cannot scroll backward and I cannot see the strategies. Let's repeat it. No, I have to CD express generator. Oh, why? It doesn't allow me to scroll backward. This is very strange. If I enable this, because my idea was to be able to show the strategies and to be able to scroll backward to see this, and it work. No, it doesn't work. Let's try the CMD. Actually, there are two environments. One is the PowerShell, and the other is CMD. When you write in the Windows starting with CMD, it opens this command prompt. And it works similar to, but I don't.
Miroslav, try to maximize the window.
Yeah. What to do?
Make the window maximized.
Do you think this is the problem? I never maximize.
I don't think at all. It's worth a try, but
At least select it, right click copies, and then select right click paste.
I have the same problem in command.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So it looks PowerShell is too powerful for our stuff. Okay, but this I sometimes I use this command prompt. A command prompt, yeah. We run it with CMD, but also you don't forget to make the same settings here. Colors and the font set to consoles. Okay, so we did that. The other thing, the new things are this start percent and data end percent. So instead of specifying the particular dates, we will use start percent end percent. And so let's make a new command. I'll say FS, RSB, express generator, OS, workflow, CMD. Okay. Now I also will do some other stuff. First I have the file here and I'll copy some of the stuff. Oh no, I'll write it again. Okay. In one command file I can do several stuff, and I will make this command for generating on euro dollar USD M30 and then validating. But if I run it every day, I want also to update the data. So in one script, I also can fetch the data first. Fetch GS. Okay, and then to generate symbol euro USD. Okay. Period M30. Okay. Let's say max data bars. I'll make it 20,000 to be faster. And I'm now in UTC, but if you're not in UTC, you have to specify it also time zone. Time zone is shifts in hour. I will set 0, but you may set what is your time zone. Now this script will only fetch the data. I will put pause at the end in order to see the result. Let's simply test it. Yeah, it fetched the data, 20,000 bars, and stopped. But if you run it only like that, you see this Windows System32 CMD.exe. If you have many running scripts, you may not find easier which script what is doing, which one is which. So we can use title, and this will be out of sample workflow Euro USD M30. Okay, so when I run it now, you see this title here. So it is a good idea when you write commands to make the title to imagine this works for 1 day or more, and you have 10, 20 running. So it will be much easier to find which one is which. Okay, so this fetches the data. I can also fetch the FX rates like that. Okay, so yeah, this is okay. Now I can start generating with the out sample. Also, we can write comments. The comments are written with remark. Rem means remark or comments. Fetch Forex data. Okay. Next, what I'm doing will be generate in sample. How many percent? 80 or 70? Let's make
80 or 70, yeah.
70%. Okay, 70%. So I start like before. Just I'll copy some of this stuff because they are similar. And this will be Gen, of course. It will be the same Euro USD M30 20,000 bars. And now I'll specify these new parameters, data start percent and data end percent. Okay.
You probably get rid of that FX rates as well, right? In the second one.
Yeah, correct. To be mistake. So we'll start from 0 and to limit the data to 70%. Okay, so when you use the percent limitations, percent range, we always have to specify the length of the data series, right? Because it will be not determined without that. Now, if you specify the length of the data series, so we fetch new data and specify the starting and the end percent, we will have this running window. It will run like that, yeah. Forward. So today will be this, and the next day will be shifted with 1 bar or with M30 with 12 bars. No, with 48 bars, right? 1 day. Okay. Let's run this. Or okay, no, let's continue. This is clear what I'm doing. Okay, let's test it. It fetched new data, and today is 29th. But we see here that it loaded data from 25th of March to May. Yeah, and 14,000 bars because we use 70%. 70% of 20,000 is 14,000. So the auto sample works well. I'll stop this. Okay, let's continue. What you do then? Let's do the same what we did here. Correction capacity 300 and maximum strategy 300. Just to repeat the example. So take the first 300. Of course, you may wish to set it for some for how many minutes to work or into set acceptance criteria, but just for the example, just to take the first 300 generated, right? And I will set here this. I use this output parameter and output replace. In the output, I set the name of the output collection. So as I said, it is user friendly now. I just set it in equal to, no, I don't have equal here. It will be in sample Euro USD M30. Okay. It doesn't matter. Even I don't need to specify the JSON extension. I can put it, but the program will Express Generator will set it for me. It is much easier now. And I use this output replace equal to true. Why I do that? I'll move this here before. Rest the output be the last thing. Like that. So when I run this script, the first time it will fetch the data, we generate on this 0 to 70% data range, and we save the correction here in that name. Then we'll continue if I put the other commands. In the next day, when I run it again, it will start the same thing, but when I start saving the correction, it will find that this name already exists, and to add suffix to that. We'll make it like that. And in the next step, I will not be able to load the correction that I want, right? It will load the one from yesterday. So that's why I use this output replace true, which sets the Express Generator to override the file. Even if the file exists, it will override the file. And it means that as many times as I run it, it will save in the same output file, and then it will be able to load the same file. Probably it will become clear in a moment. So let's do that. I think this is enough for the moment. Okay, just let's save it. I'll remove these things. Okay. Okay, it turned. It will correct 300 strategies, and then we will stop and we will write this file correction in sample EURUSD. Okay, it's clear. The purpose of this, yeah, without this parameter, let's make it. Okay, I will demonstrate that. It will be more clear. Yeah. But okay, for now it's okay. So we generated the correction on the in-sample data from the first 70%. Let's load the same correction and validate it. Validate in out-on-sample OS on the newest 30% of the data. So we have the same data, EURUSD 30, 200 bars, but data start percent will be 70. Okay. It will end to 100. So we will have the latest, the newest 30% of the data.
Miroslav,
yeah.
just to ask you, this number is a int or you can specify decimals to it. Like the user wants 80.5, for example. It's a int or a double?
Here in the data start percent,
Yes.
I'm not
Probably
sure
just
how
needs to be an integer. Would you ever? I would never have even thought to use less than 1% of.
I can make it float.
Yeah.
I can make it float without a problem, but I think I parse it as int. We will try it if it broke. I'm not sure. I think I use int parsing, but I'm not sure how exactly we'll parse if it's not int. We'll see.
But it can be 1%, right? You know, obviously in EA Studio, it's limited to 10%, 20%, 30% kind of thing.
Yeah.
But this could be 71%, right?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah.
And also we can have several intervals, right? Not only
Yeah.
one sample. So creation capacity. This time I'll collect the top 5. Max Cindy strategy is 5. No, I'll not max Cindy strategy. I'll compute all. I'll compute all, but you collect only the top 5. Output replace. I will set this false. Why? Because I want to see the walk, the walk, and also I'll set show top 5. Like that. Yeah, this time I make some strange arrangement, but anyway. Okay, so here is very important. I will use the input, the same correction as before, this one, and I will set the output input. Okay. The output will be always. I think it is okay. I will run it. I'll go to take a couple of photos, excuse me for a moment until it runs. Okay, let's see what happened. So it's generated, then I don't see why the walk is broken. Then it generated 275 as I see here. 275 validated this and printed the top 5 in the outsample data. So these are the newest data here. And yeah, so we have a top 5 strategies printed that works on the outer sample. And it shows the statistic of these top 5 strategies that are on the outer sample. So these strategies are potentially good for trading. The problem here is, okay, these are for 275, these top 5 run, they run in outer sample. Probably probably these are good for the analysis to see if they're suitable for demo trading or for live trading. Okay, so if I run the script again, it will do the same thing. It will find new strategies. Yeah, I did the one from yesterday. I'll move it. Yeah, it did the same thing. It works because we have this output replace true. Without this, it is true, but this is the output. This is the new output, right? This is the auto sample. Without these options, if I remove this line like that, every time I run this command, it will generate this intermediate correction with a suffix. You see, this is from the previous run, and it will save in sample with suffix 1. It will not be possible to load the same. It will load to the. Do you see what it did?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is not good. So
No, it's not reading in what you wanted it to.
Yeah. So that's why we
Yeah,
need this option output replace. Also, we can use this output replace also here. Also will be useful because I will have I have the updated result from this workflow. Yeah, if you want, you can make you can have this a stack of different outputs. But if you have a workflow and you update it and you run this every day, probably you use only one result, right? To manage it.
Yeah. Here's where that command we discussed just before would be really good as well, because it would be able to read in the existing collection and revalidate it and then generate for a bit, right?
Yeah, I did. We did that. We'll do that soon. Okay, so now what we have this workflow, and we can do what we want. We can have various acceptance criteria here, various acceptance criteria here out of sample. We can vary it on different market. What we see, we generate on EURUSD, and it found out that the one that we generate EURUSD was better on the Great Britain pound, right? Yeah, crazy. But what if I want to have this is good, okay? But what if I want to run several of these? One for EURUSD, one for Great Britain pound USD. Okay, I can make several scripts and change the market here. Replace. So okay, save, and I have command for Great Britain pound, right? But this is a little bit stupid because we can use we can go to one level further, and we can have parameters to our command file. So if we have a workflow, we can modify this workflow to work for different markets by using parameters. So I'll make two variables here. Variables we use like that. Set symbol equal to, and I use parameter. The command prompt, this command files, there is parameter. %1 is the first parameter, and %2 is the second parameter. Period. Okay, this will be the second parameter, and then whenever I use the symbol, instead of the symbol, I use the variable symbol. We read we read a variable by surrounding it with %, like that. So we'll put a parameter to the command. The first parameter we set to variable symbol, and then everywhere we use the symbol, we use this variable. And for the period, you do the same. Instead of M30, we use period. Okay, now it becomes more generic. We can also specify the length of the data series, auto sample percent, stop loss ranges if you need different stop loss ranges for the different markets. So this, let's call this will my CFS. This will be my auto sample workflow. Yeah, so this workflow cannot be run directly. If I run it like that, probably it will crash because it will not be able to find these symbols. I'm pretty sure. Let's try to see what will happen. I don't know what happened.
Oh, it's taken the defaults maybe from
Yeah. It takes the default
yeah.
because it disappears that are not defined.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is not good behavior. So I will make some protection. If this variable is not defined, okay, I can make it like that. Is equal to empty string exit. Okay.
Yeah, that's better.
They put it with a capital letter. They work in small letter also, but let's be strict. Okay. Okay, I think this is better. And you see, it will work also for the title. So if I run it now, okay, it causes.
Yeah.
So what I can do with that command now, I think from the command prompt, I use CMD. It doesn't work from the PowerShell. Probably it works, but I don't know how. I use this start CMD from the Windows Start menu. Now go to Express Generator. Okay, this auto sample workflow, and I can read it like that: start OS workflow without the extension, OS workflow Euro USD M30, and it works. This I can start it again with M15. Okay, and it also shows the title. So I have one workflow, one command, but run it with different parameters, and it does the same. Here the problem is that when it finishes, it stops, and I have to close it manually, like here. So in order to make it closing automatically, because I run more, and the end of the script, instead of pause, I will use exit. So when it finishes, it saves its correction and exits. Let's delete this and try again to see. Okay, so I run this auto sample workflow. One time for EURUSD M30 and one time for EURUSD Great Britain Pound. Great Britain Pound USD M30. Okay. Here are the two instances, and they make each of these will make own corrections. The one finishes, and because I put exit in the end of the script, when it finishes, it closes the window. Okay. All right. Very good. Now, but now my workflow is good. It's generic, but I have to run it manually, which is not very user friendly. So I make another command. Express generator. Let's call it OS runner.cmd. Okay, and this runner, it will run different instances of this workflow. So I use the same start OS workflow, or whatever is your name, workflow. Euro USD M30. Great Britain Pound USD, USD CHF, and USD GPY. Okay. Now it will work, and even if I didn't have the historical data yet, it will work because this workflow, it first fetches the historical data and then starts generating. So every morning, if I have my workflow, just I simply click on that script, runner, and it opens these 4 instances. They opened outside of the screen. I'll move this here. And each one has its, you see the title, Euro USD.
Yeah.
Yeah, the user-friendly title. Okay. So this is, yeah, this is the way how I expected to use this express generator to program our tasks and to be able to write scripts that run this. Even what we can do to make it fully automatic. Only one thing. Yeah, okay, it's okay. It's okay. We can make, do you know we have a task scheduler in Windows? Here, task scheduler, and here in task scheduler, you can make a new, create task, and you can create new task and to set it what command to run in what folder and when, and you can make it working every day. For example, every morning 3 o'clock or whatever, to run your scripts to generate your strategies for the day. So that was, and the best is that it works. I show now in Windows, but it works in any.
I've got one small tip to add, actually, Popov, because I've been doing pretty much exactly this for a few days. And in between, so the validation. So if you go down, you run the generate,
Okay.
and then it saves as a text file, and then it instantly goes and does the validate, right?
Yeah.
I actually put a timeout command just to wait a second there, because sometimes I've found, and this might just be my computer, but I'm sure others have a similar thing, where sometimes it doesn't quite save the output file fast enough before it moves on to the next command.
Yeah.
And so it's good to just give it, just because 2 seconds, who cares if you say wait 2 seconds, but yeah, timeout 2 seconds. And that just lets it run smoothly.
Is this here in seconds?
Yeah, it's in seconds. Yeah, timeout 2 will be fine.
Okay, yeah, this is very useful.
Yeah, because I've had it skipping of what I've saw it happen. So yeah.
Let's try it. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, okay. This is useful. Also, we can when this finishes, we can delete this collection with a delete with the del. Yeah, to have only the output, to not have the intermediate files.
Yeah, I do that too.
Interesting, right? So then when you open your folder, you have only this data sample, not the intermediate. But for the delete command, you have to specify the full like that.
It can also be quite good to temporarily, because sometimes you duff things up, right? It can be quite good rather than delete it to move it to a to delete folder or a temp folder, because sometimes I've done, I wish I hadn't deleted that,
Yeah.
But either of the two, definitely do a cleanup.
Very good. So actually, this was what I wanted to show in that session. Any questions or any ideas?
No, that's all clear. That's great. The percentages, yeah, that's a game changer for me. It makes it so easy to just.
Yeah, let's try what will happen if I put a float number in the percent. Let's check it, because Vinny is curious and we have to check it.
Yeah.
Not bin gen. What was the parameter? Data start percent.
Yeah.
No, too much. Too many dashes. No. Bin gen. Right click. 10.5. I cannot say it works, but I don't say, is it round?
What's I don't know. I'm just the way to type 0.105 times 20. Yeah, it has done 10.5.
What?
Yeah, it has done. Yeah, it has done 10.5.
Yeah, it works, but I'm not sure. Is it around it or cut it to?
No, it has 17.9. Yeah, go change it to 10.4, and I bet it'll be like
Let's see.
slightly different.
Now it's 1925th, 1930, and with the 10.4.
You can see the count of bars has changed as well. The count of bars has changed by a little bit. It's doing it to float.
I don't think.
Have a look. The count of bars for 10.5 was 17,900, and 10.4 was 17,920. It is doing it with a float.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is. It's 2 decimals, so that's good.
Yeah, probably.
Already implemented.
I'm not sure why it works. Yeah, it works. Yeah, it's for because I did my own this helpers that reads the parameters. I wrote my own libraries, my own packages for this, and if it's a round number, it reads it like integer, and if it's float number, it reads it like float. And then in the EA Studio, in the expression, I just use it in the computation, so it doesn't matter. And then I round the number of bars, all right? So it works with float numbers also. Yeah, for sure it works. Now already I know why, because actually there is not any constraints. Yeah, when after computing the number of bars, it rounds the number of bars, right? But the percent can be float.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay. Also, this I already have this crypto audit or script similar to that in the forum. I made a new section in the forum called
workflow.
Commands and workflow. Yeah. So I'll post such interesting cases here, and if you have any ideas or interesting workflows, please post also this here, and also for our users, they can find this. Okay, it was good session. Any other questions?
No. Thank you, Miroslav, for the time.
Good.
For me, it's good.
Yeah, so we discussed with Samuel one new feature, and it was requested in the forum. Let's see the wish list. It is possible to enable both revalidate and generate into the same output collection. So, and I have lots of previous generated collections. I'd like to revalidate using the latest data file. So I use the input parameter as a folder. And then once it's revalidated, then start generating new strategy into that correction, overwriting as usual. Yeah, this was good. I tried to make it working this morning, but I was not very successful at that, and I discarded the job. But we can do it in a better way. We already discussed it with Samuel. It will work like we have it now. You put the input, you use the input, and then we need some key, some flag to say the generator that after the validating this to continue generating. But what is suitable name do you think? Validate and generate. No, generate. No. Validate. Or prefill correction. Input. I don't know.
I don't know, something like validate only, true or false, because it's kind of like, is it just going to validate or?
Now we have input, and when we specify input, it only validates in validate mode. But
yeah, that's its default. It just validates, and we want it to validate and then generate.
Validate only. Validate and generate.
Yeah,
it's not
because it generates only if you've not got the input file, right?
Yeah.
It's just it's
Must
a
be
bit.
append. No, append is other. I think about append. What if you put output to already existing file? Instead of output replace, to have output append. But it's not good because it will not work with like correlation analysis, and then also you cannot append to JSON file, right? It's not some binary format. So output append it's not good. Yeah, okay, let's discuss this in the forum. If you find a good name for that option, I will implement it, and it will work exactly what our user.
It's pretty much possibly just generate after validation. It's something that just says, it's kind of got a couple of default behaviors. If you don't have input, the default behavior is generate only. And if you do have input, the default behavior is validate only. And
No,
we just need some.
It can be validate and generate. Because if you don't have input, it doesn't anything to.
It'll be the same. Yeah. I think that works.
There is
I
nothing
think
to validate. So
I think validate and generate's good. It's pretty clear that, and that's its default. It's set to true by default.
No, it must be set.
Oh no, it's set to false by default. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, set to false, because if you don't have input, nothing to validate.
It doesn't validate.
It will validate 0, so it just continue generating, right? Yeah, actually, it will be only controlled by if you have input or don't have input.
Yeah. It's only yeah.
If it's true, if it's false, if you have input, you calculate the input and you will stop. It will not continue generating.
Yeah.
Validate. So let's be validate and generate.
I think that works. Yeah.
Validate and generate. Anyway, okay. So I'll try to do that. And so let's make a recap of the video. What we did. We have this update best option. So when you run it, the express generator updates the strategy on the screen, and it works more or less like the express studio generator, right? It shows the strategy and also it shows the statistics. Show top is when it finishes, it shows the top correction in the end after the generating. For auto sample purposes, we set data start percent, data end percent. So we determine the in sample range. Actually, the title auto sample is not too descriptive here because we set the in sample, right? Not the outer sample. And we have this output replace, which is false, but when it's set to when it's false by default, and when you have a new correction, the expression generator adds a suffix to the correction, and when you make it true, it replaces existing file or create a new file. And we create this automated workflow. Let's undo this. Okay, we created this automated workflow that uses parameters, and we make a runner that runs this workflow or several instances of this workflow. So thank you very much for attending this session. I will upload it in the YouTube. I stop recording now.
Yeah, cheers, Baba.